Hey guys, welcome back to another Swiss001 video, and today we are back in Aerofly, which is a flight simulator that we haven't been talking about for a while now. But now Aerofly, or the developers of Aerofly, which is PAX, is back with another annual release of Aerofly Flight Simulator for mobile. And a lot of people asked me if I could, make a review out of this, I guess. Now, personally, I would never use a mobile flight simulator as a primary flight simulator to simulate proper flights. Actually, I'd just like to have some kind of flight simulator on my phone to, just waste some time while sitting in a subway or a plane, perhaps, And these days, the level of simulation you get from your phone is amazing. So let's check out this fresh flight simulator. Now we have several regions to choose from. We have Switzerland, we have the whole West Coast, kind of. And that's kind of it. Now, the Swiss scenery is actually pretty cheap, only 50 cents. But you do not have global, so you cannot fly worldwide, which can suck. Let's check out the aircraft that we have. We have all the normal Aeroflight aircraft that we have had for several years now. Everything stayed the same. We have a very broad selection. We have airliners, we have helicopters, we have gliders, we have fighters, we have igniters. I don't know what rhymes to that. Now let's spawn into California. Again, we have pretty much the whole of West. We even have Denver, which is really nice. Do we have sound? Because I don't hear anything. Yeah, that has been a thing about Aerofly for a while. The volume is very low, so yeah. Right, so here we are spawned in at a random airport. As you can see right here, we have 3D buildings, which is a very neat feature. We have had that before in last year's simulator, in FS 2019, and yeah, this looks really cool. We have this map here, kind of like the G1000 panel. We have the normal steam gauges that you have in the Cessna 172. Let's just take off first, though. Now, we have actually taken off, which is very good. This is our plane. I can see the graphics are good as always. Aerofly graphics in general are very neat, and this is very well optimized for mobile. Now, I don't see any difference yet to the old version of this. Now, maybe let's talk about the UI elements. I kind of do like the UI elements. You have everything you need in this HUD head-up display. You have the throttle control here, the flaps control here. We have this kind of slew button, I would call, kind of like FSX. You could go up with that button. I think that's kind of random, but okay. Here's the view selector button, whatever, and we actually can have a co-pilot here, which is a neat feature. Now, something that we should not forget about is that this thing has live cockpit, live instruments. Everything is working, but aside from that, the cockpit is interactive. We can actually use it. As you can see right here, we can press any button. For example, we can kill our engine by leaning the mixture, as you can see right here, by pulling it back. And yeah, the engine is about to die. This is really great. We have interactive cockpit in every single plane here, which is really nice. And dead. Well, nearly dead. We have an airport right under us. Now, actually, I do have to say, the physics in this one are pretty acceptable. I mean, obviously, Aerofly, or the developers of Aerofly, have an advantage because they already have a desktop simulator that they just have to put into our phones. And there you go, you have a pro-level flight simulator. Aerofly is really a good flight simulator. It's kind of underrated, to be honest, both on mobile and desktop. All right, so let's get some brakes going. I think we have actually broken our propeller. That's not good. That might have happened. Actually, the crash simulation of Aerofly is pretty good. For example, you can break your landing gear by landing too hard. This flight simulator is $8.99 on the App Store, which is actually a pretty good price, I guess. Oh god, especially since you won't be spending any more money for the aircraft, as far as I know. Oh Jesus Christ. And so the pricing is really good. You only have to pay for the Switzerland scenery, but 50 cents is not bad. But global is probably what I miss about this flight simulator. For example, X-Plane also released their own flight simulator for mobile, and that one has global. It actually came out a few weeks ago. Now, this looks way better than the X-Plane add-on that I have for my desktop PC. This is a completely working cockpit. Now, let's try crashing this plane by pulling too many G's. Let's see what happens. Actually, I do have to say the scenery is very, very nice. Also, have I mentioned that we have clouds, which is not for Granted, yeah, infinite flight, but I don't know if it's worth the upgrade. I mean, you can just stick with the 2019 version and spend the $8.99 on my merge, but still, this is very decent. I mean, what can you say about it? Also, what is special about this sim is that it offers a great selection of retro planes. A lot of retro plane enthusiasts prefer this flight simulator over others because of its selection of weird old planes, like the Jungmeister or the Learjet. No, just kidding. What am I doing? I mean, there's nothing to hate about this flight simulator, really. This is very, very neat. Now, let's see how nighttime flying looks like. I said nighttime. Oh, it's actually night. They were not kidding. Now let's land this Canadian plane, shall we? Or maybe not. This reminds me of FSX. I should maybe review the PC version of this, because that might actually be interesting as well. Until then, I'll see you tomorrow, guys. As always, even though it's Christmas, I have no light. Whatever, good night.